bring you on in just a second.
Yeah,
as soon as I can tell that I'm live. I am live. Okay, excellent. I'm live, and the clock just ticked over to 10 a.m. here in California, which is Pacific Standard Time. I want to give all of you just a second to join us, and then I am going to bring on the beautiful salon owner and designer, Pauline Reilly, who's going to talk to us today about all of the amazing things that she is doing with her new surface design business. So when you hop on, first of all, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're joining from. I am LaFollette, and I am a surface pattern designer and an online educator. And I'm incredibly excited to be here for the Friday Student Spotlight. So if you are new here, and I know many of you have just recently joined, and many of you may be here live or you may be watching the replay, I want to greet you and welcome you to Anne's Art Club. This is going to be our clubhouse during the course of the Doodles mini course, which starts in October, but we've been warming up together, and it's incredible to both meet you, start to get to know you, and for us to actually warm up together because Doodle starts at the beginning of October. So the best thing, or my biggest ask this morning is say hi in the comments. Hello, Jean. Hello, Carmelia. Hello, Patricia. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hi, Wendy. It's great to see you. Marianne is in the house. So I am going to bring on, so hold on a second, Pauline. I'm going to hide the screen overlay that had my name on it, and now I'm going to bring you on. And so if you have your phone, Pauline, you can probably see that you're now on with me. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And let me just tell you who else is here, because there are many familiar both names and faces that you know well now. Pamela's here, Patricia's here, Connie Mason Bennett, who's relatively new, is here. Welcome. Janelle, Diane Brown, hello, hello, hello. And Janet is here as well.
Oh, hello.
So let's just get started. It's 2 minutes after. I'm sure people can find us. Let me actually take 1 second and glance at my phone just to make sure that there aren't any people who need to refresh their browser in order to be able to find us, because sometimes you need to refresh your screen to see where we are, and I don't want anybody to feel like they're being left out.
Oh no, we don't.
But I think it's looking like everybody's finding us, and I don't have any text messages from anybody, so I think we're good. I think we're good. We've got Mary and Cindy Ray and Tracy. I see you, Tracy, and Catherine. It's wonderful. So let's get started. So first of all, Pauline, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. You are in the UK as well, right? So tell us a little bit about where you are coming to us from and a little bit about your background.
Okay, well, I'm coming to you from North Wales. We're about 7 miles outside Chester, so we're just on the Welsh-English border, and I work in a beautiful little village called Harden. And we're in a great spot because we're not far from a town, but you can be lost in Wales in half an hour, or on the train from Chester to London at different times to if you want to go into the city and what have you. So it's beautiful here. Beautiful.
And are you from there originally?
No, I'm from the northeast. I'm up from the other side of the country, up towards Newcastle, so on the northeast coastline, where it's a lot colder than it is here.
Okay. Okay. And now you're married and you have a beautiful dog.
Yes, I'm married to Jed, who I've been married to for 32 years. He's my rock. And my little rock is my Indiana. She's a little Hungarian Vizsla wire-haired pup who's 5 weeks and was just looking shocked at me because I've just closed her out, because normally she would come in, but she's too boisterous. She's too big now. So
she'll jump all over you if you let her in, right?
Yeah, she'd be on my knee. That's the trouble. She'd be all over, you know?
Yes, but she's beautiful, and I know you've shared pictures of her with us before. She's a beautiful puppy.
Yeah.
So first of all, I'm so grateful that you're joining us today and really updating us on your story. So for those of you who are watching for the first time, Pauline came on and did a student spotlight with us back in April. And that is still in the units. There's a unit called Student Spotlight, so you can go back and watch that. But I thought it would be really, really beneficial and very inspiring for you to come and update us about what it is that you're doing. Because when you talked to us in April, your salon was closed because of the pandemic. And actually, let's start with how did you find Doodles? How did we find each other? Let's start there.
Well, I think you send out these vibes, and I think it's that, you suck us in, and I didn't know I was looking for Doodles to Dollars, but like you send out these vibes to Instagram and Facebook, and I just found you. I was on an Instagram. I used to follow Surface Pattern Design. I think it was hashtag Surface Pattern Design, and you just popped up one day, and you were talking, and you were just from that. You're just so easy to listen to. You're so welcoming, and I thought I like this lady, and then so I signed up to your Facebook group, and I was really lucky because you were just about to do a Doodles to Dollars, and I always remember I was in Whitby on the northeast coast in Yorkshire when your Doodles to Dollars went on. We had a week away, and the week was filled with wandering on the moors, going into Whitby for ice cream, and me doing my Doodles to Dollars with you of an evening, because obviously it's evening time here, and that's how I found it, and I've been hooked ever since, and you've changed so much for me as far as my, I would call myself an artist now. I would never have dreamt of doing that, but in how I see things and things that I can do, and just being part of your community really means so much to me, absolutely.
Well, I am also just so incredibly impressed with, how you leaned into the Doodles mini course and learned how to make your first repeating pattern, and then how you took the leap and came into the Academy program. That beautiful piece of fabric behind you is one of your gorgeous designs. Yeah, so talk to us a little bit about sort of your inspiration and I know you've got some beautiful pieces to show us. I know you actually have a fairly large collection of products that you sell now, but tell us a little bit about your learning journey and what inspires you.
Well, I was one of those people that I always thought I could draw until I went to senior school, and then because then it was different then, and unless you were heading down that fine art path and the teacher thought you could already draw, they weren't really, sounds awful to say interested, because I'm sure those teachers were doing their best, but so I thought I couldn't draw, and so I stopped. I let one person tell me for how long that I couldn't draw, but I've always been creative. I've done things, I've made jewellery, I've made cards and stamped and sewn and reupholstered furniture, and anyway, and I just had never drawn. And then when you talked in Doodles to Dollars, absolutely about that it was a doodle, and so many of my patterns are. I still would never profess to be a great fine artist. I know there's lots of people on your within the group that are amazing, talented people that are artists, but that's not what I can do. But I'm happy with what I do now. And this pattern behind me is such a simple, I don't know if you can see it on there, just a simple doodle. I actually did that doodle in my Rotary meeting. Because I have to draw and doodle when I'm and I was listening to somebody, and I did it, and I thought, oh, that looks all right actually. And then I took it home and I fiddled with it, and I took it into Adobe, and all the other little bits are just little petals. But I love it, and what I have started doing when I do a pattern and then somebody particularly likes it, or somebody then asks for something made in it, I started naming it after them. So this is called Katie, because my friend Kate loves it, and she's bought mugs and cushions off me, so I've named it after her.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And I couldn't remember it then. It's like, that's Katie.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
So I'm doing that, and I'm really, that's just a little touch, isn't it? It's just something that I like. So
I love it. I love it. It's very meaningful. I'm sure she's incredibly touched. And one of the things that this is such a great example of is we're all so hard on ourselves, right? I mean, you don't think of yourself an artist, but that is the absolutely gorgeous pattern. And I know you're going to show us several others. And so it's just inside our mind, because we sort of think artist with the capital A means Picasso or Renoir or Van Gogh or something like that, right? But it's not. It's whatever it is that comes out of us that brings us joy and also brings joy to others.
Absolutely. Doing this, it makes my heart sing. I've got to say, it absolutely does. And I'll never forget that you brought that out of me, Anne, and I'll forever be grateful for that. So.
Well, one of the things that is that really, really touched my heart also, as you know, we now know each other quite well, is that, you know, when we all went into this crazy, I mean, we're still in this crazy world. Yeah. We need to find things that are going to bring us some joy and that also are going to allow us to figure out other ways to bring some money in so that we're not necessarily relying on what we were doing before the pandemic. And so when your salon closed, that is, I think the timing was similar around when you both did doodles again, because I think you did doodles a couple times, and then you purchased the Academy program and leaned into those, you know, 8 weeks, we were 8+ weeks that we're together. And so now that the salon is reopened, tell us a little bit about how you showcase your art there, the connection between some of your beautiful designs. Your spotlight post has one of my favorite designs of yours, which is the nail polish.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. It is just, it's one of my favourite designs. I think I just suddenly thought, well, maybe I could draw a nail polish bottle, and it just came from there, and I added it, and I think I did it the first time I did doodles, and then I think the second time I did after doing doodles, I took your Academy, and then I took that pattern and made it into a half drop. So, you know, it's not just finished because it's finished, is it? You can always fiddle with it. But it's there, you've created it. And sorry, I lost my drift now. Oh, so there's the bottles, but I put it on all sorts of things. I think I've got some here. I had them when we're in the pandemic. I had it made into, you see that, into some postcards.
Yeah, beautiful.
And so there's it says sending you good wishes from your Serenity Sisters, because that's what we call ourselves. And so there was a way of keeping in touch. It's kind of become my brand for the salon. We've got T-shirts with it on. We wear aprons in work now in a gorgeous magenta, sort of reddy pink, and that pattern sort of looks as though the bottles are falling. I've got wrapping paper and that, and mugs, and so it's been really popular. And I feel as though people maybe now start to identify, people that know me anyway. So it's
becoming part of your brand, right?
Yeah,
it's becoming part of your brand, which is so incredible. And we're going to go to your website next, and also I want to make sure everyone knows where to follow you on Instagram. I'm going to do that in a couple of minutes. But one of the things that also is I so appreciate, and this is what I love about my community, is that you're an action taker, right? So you both, like, you know, serendipitously we found each other through the internet gods, and that's such a blessing. And but then you really like practiced, right? You practiced and you applied yourself, and then you experimented with lots of different things. So you're also doing what's called spot graphics, right? So show us the gorgeous pillow pillowcase that you made, because I think and tell us if that's watercolor.
It's actually, I did it on my iPad in watercolor with one of Tila's set of brushes.
Oh, great. Fantastic.
I don't know if the light's very good when you can see that or not.
There you go. Pull it back a little bit closer to your face. Now we can see the color better. It's so gorgeous. Oh, my goodness. So you did that on Procreate and then created a spot graphic with it.
And then did a spot graphic with it. And I've done another spot graphic on this. Is actually, I have just sold a cushion on this today. So that's a print of flamingos. And I think this is going to be popular.
That's beautiful.
And I've sold the 10 cards that I bought of that to do as happy birthday cards have gone this week. So
they're already sold.
So for all its pattern design, there's so many other, that's like you say, more of a spot graphic. Mm-hmm. I have done it on, it is on Society 6 as a pattern on a mug. But as I say, it's been really popular on the cushions as well. So
it's so much fun, and I just absolutely love the new photograph of you two outside in the in nature sketching. The picture of you sketching.
because that's me really. I think that's where I get so much of my inspiration, and I can tell you all the secret because it's just between us. My hair was a mess that day. You probably can tell. And my hair is. I'm not a sleek coiffed person, but because I'd not had a chance to have my hair done after the pandemic, and my friend Beth said she'd take some pictures for me to go on my website. They needed those, so we took Indy. That was interesting because we had the dog. She's trying to take pictures, and I'd done my hair like that. And then she said to me, "Pull your glasses down your nose." So my glasses, I think, are on the end of my nose, and I'm drawing away, looking all sophisticated. And my hair, the colour of my hair was just dreadful because it was like dark to here and then all. So she put it in black and white, and I look at it now and I think, oh, that looks quite good actually.
It's a fabulous picture. It is a fabulous picture. Well, speaking of hair, I look at the pictures of myself from April, and I had short hair. And I had short hair, and I was coloring it, and so I haven't cut it or colored it, and I look totally different, right? I have long hair now. It's white, and I'm gonna leave it. I don't. You know what? It's like this has been another one of those silver linings that you find when the world is crazy.
I mean, I've got all mine cut off now.
Yeah, yours is short because yours was quite long.
I just needed a change. I just
Yeah. So listen, let's talk a little bit more about where people can find you. So you have done this amazing. So another action that you took was you knew that you needed to start to get your work out into the world, and so you put up a website very, very quickly, right? And so I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to go to it so people can see it. But then I want you to talk about how. The most important thing is to get a simple website up and running, so people can find you. People can start to join your email list. So let's talk just a little bit about having the courage to get it up and running so quickly. While I'm going to share now. Before I share my screen, we're going to pray to the internet gods because we have a lot going on, right? You and I are connected via Skype. I'm connected to Facebook via Ecamm Live. It might crash and burn. So for all of you guys watching, if this crashes and burns, don't worry, we'll come right back. I'm hoping that because we're always very grateful for the connections working and the internet working, that everything's going to go smoothly. But I just always like to warn people,
just in case.
Just in case. So if we disappear, we'll be right back. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to prepare in the background, pulling up your PaulineReillyArt.com. So hold on a second, PaulineReillyArt.com. And I'm preparing it in the background, and then I'm going to share my screen so that people can see it. And I just love the way and there's a question I want to answer for someone. One of the questions that came through was, what's a spot graphic? And so you are using one of your elements from the pattern behind you as a spot graphic on your website. And so we can explain it. All right, so question, first of all, for those of you who are here in the comments, I want to make sure you tell me that, yes, you can see my screen now, and you see Pauline Reilly Art, her website, on screen right now. Just give me a thumbs up, give us a little heart, let us know that you can indeed see the website, and then I'm going to scroll down and show you more how she's organized it. But to answer, I think it was Tracy's question. So Tracy, a spot graphic is basically either taking an element like you can see right here on the center of my screen. This is a couple of the beautiful elements that Pauline put into a repeating pattern. But you can both put it in a repeating pattern, and you can then use it as a spot graphic, which really essentially means it's like a separate illustration. You can turn it into an art print. You can turn it into just a hero element for the center of a pillow. And so that is what a spot graphic is. And it's really, really fun to kind of take maybe the favorite part of a pattern design that you're working on, your favorite flower or your favorite animal or the favorite element that's in your pattern, and pull it out and do other things with it. Like you saw, Pauline has some cards that she has some of her patterns on. The possibilities are endless. So we have a good connection. We're getting lots of yeses. We're getting a very strong connection today from Lorene. Thank you, Lorene. So Pauline, tell us how quickly you were able to get this website up and running while I scroll down. Because what I'm doing now is I see, first of all, totally awesome. One of the things I teach in the Pattern Design Academy is the 5 things you need on your website, and one of the most important things is your name and an introduction of who you are and what you do, and then a place very quickly for people to subscribe to your email list. And so on screen right now, people can see those 3 things right away. Your name, Pauline Reilly Art, your description, which is I'm Pauline, I live in the UK, I draw and work on pattern designs every day, I'm a design addict. Take a look around my place. I'd love you to sign up for emails. Then I can share with you my latest patterns. And then right below your beautiful spot graphic, you have a subscribe button, which is awesome. Thank you, Lorene. Thank you for telling me how to pronounce your name. That's brilliant. So then as I scroll down, you can see the beautiful print of your flamingos, who are adorable. You can also see the sort of splash of beautiful flowers that you did with those Tila Cunningham brushes. Yeah. And then as we go down, now you can see these are links to all of her different shops, right? Tell us about T-Mill.
T-Mill are set up in the Isle of Wight, part of the UK, that little island at the bottom. And they are very forward thinking. All their fabric is organic. They're really on the ball when you set up an order with them. Huge help to set up a website, as your shop with them. They do free shipping once a month, which is worldwide, which is amazing. So I really try and drive that each month. I mean, it's still something I need to do more work on. But, they even take T-shirts back that you finished with and they shred them again and you reuse the fabric, which is really what we need, and it is really forward thinking. So I found them quite a while ago. I think they also do prints as well now, and T-Mill, and they're quite, as I say, quite local for us, but I know they ship worldwide as well.
Yes, and so one of the things that we get asked a lot inside Anne's Art Club and also in my programs is, well, I don't live in the United States, for the people who do live in the United States, there are big print-on-demand companies that we dive into: Society 6, Redbubble, Zazzle. There's a ton of them. Spoonflower. Now, what's great is that both Society 6 and Redbubble, which are both on your website, they're international. They are totally international. Yeah. But then T-Mill might be more of a Spoonflower kind of alternative for fabrics, right? In the UK. Yeah. Spoonflower is here. Spoonflower is now also in the UK, or actually it's international. I think they're based in Germany now. They have their international base. But it's great to continue to explore all of the different other opportunities because there are more and more companies getting into this business. And I love the fact that T-Mill has organic fabrics and that they'll take back the products that you decide that aren't going to work the way you want them to, and then they'll recycle that and start the cycle over, which is amazing.
Images and support like that. If you want to put something on your website or on your sort of T-Mill website, there's pictures of all sorts of images they've got. So they really are supportive of businesses. And you look on them, the people on their businesses that have massive followers that are, I don't know, maybe people are into T-shirts with skulls on, and there's whole shops that are just devoted to that and very successful. I mean, that's completely different to what I do, and it just shows you there's a real there's place for everybody,
There is place for everyone.
Companies. It was one of the things when I first started with you, I did think, well, what companies could I use? And I followed what you'd said. I mean, Redbubble, I order from Redbubble. I think they ship from Germany. Mm-hmm. And Zazzle. I have what you call, I think it's a black account with Zazzle. And you don't pay very much. And I have free shipping now with Zazzle. And I meant to bring it home, actually, because one of the fun things I had made with that nail polish print on is some erasers, to rub out your pencil marks.
Yeah.
And and with clients, and it's got my little print on, and they weren't very expensive, and they're not the sort of thing if you were going to sell you'd make a lot of money on, but they're just quite fun to have in the salon, But you can have whatever print you like put on them, so.
Yes, and plus it's another way to kind of get your name out there so that when someone picks it up and says, "Oh, I got this from Pauline. This is Pauline Reilly Art and Design."
Yeah.
So, and so then the other thing that is really wonderful about your story is you got your website up and running really quickly. You did you followed the five things. You just need those five things.
Absolutely, right? Listen to what you said. Yeah.
That means that when people start to join your email list, you can start to communicate with them, and then they can quickly just from the first page on your website find where they can buy from you, which is outstanding. And so tell us a little bit about your journey and your decision around now going even further and working with a designer to do the next version of your website.
Yeah, well, that website, I've got to say, Universe, that's who that's through. And you only actually can upload from an iPad or a phone. It's very much a quick, mobile thing. And I paid £7 for a year for that website. That's all it cost me. And it's little, they have little buttons, links that you can add your link in. That's how I added T-Mill in, and I did my prints in, and I did all those things in. And it has been great and well worth £7,
Right.
I just felt I was ready to take the next step. I'm selling some things, and I think as well because sort of ultimately, sort of a bit more long term, I would like to be able to approach and see if I can have some of my designs licensed. So I thought it was so important, like you taught us, to get your work out there, get things to be seen, and you need to have that website so they can look back at what you've got. So I'm fairly sure that I found the company I've used are called Autumn Lane Papery, and they're based in California. And I know that someone from your group, that's how I came across them, and they've been great. And I picked a pre-made website, which they will put in my photographs and things, so it's still personally mine. But I haven't paid an arm and a leg to have it done, sort of thing. I've kept within a budget, but I love that first website, and I did try to take the name across to Autumn Lane, but there seemed to be a problem with it, and maybe that's why that was so cheap, because they obviously want to keep that Pauline Reilly Art. Yes, it's my domain, but they want to keep it on their site. So what I've done with the new one is I've just added in and design. So it'll be Pauline Reilly Art and Design.
I know, I love it. I love it, PaulineReillyArtandDesign.com. So Tamara wanted to know the name of the platform for this first website. I think it's called Universe.
Called Universe, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And are they? And basically, they are in sort of an iPad, iPhone.
iPhone. I can't update it on my laptop. It is very much a mobile thing. And as I say, I wouldn't knock them in any way, because for £7 for a whole year, it's got me, and it's made me learn and realise. It made me realise the things I maybe wanted to add that weren't easy to add on there. But I didn't need to do that last year, So. It's been great. It really has. But I'm so excited for this new shiny website as well. So
tell us when the reveal will happen. How many are you? A few weeks out still, or
a couple of weeks? I think I didn't really realise how long these things take. And they send you a form to fill in with sort of things, your portfolio and what you want to say about yourself, which again was all new to me. There's not a lot of writing on that site, so they keep coming back to me and say, well, do you not want to, are you having a blog yet? Well, have you written your first blog post? I was like, oh no, I haven't done that. So I did that, and I sent more pictures, and so now I'm busy sending. I've got photographs of product to go on, and so there's names, and so I did a bit more naming. So I've got like that Frock Friday, which I've been really behind with, but so that frock design in the blue, I've named that after Beryl, and I think that's a good name for that frock. That frock looks like a Beryl.
So that is like
at the moment.
Yeah, so that's like the perfect segue. I'm going to go to Instagram, because I want to show everybody Frock Friday, and also make sure that they know where they can find you on Instagram. So hold on one second. I'm going to get it ready in the background, and then we're going to. Awesome. And so you have your Instagram handle now is Pauline Reilly Art and Design, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to go to Instagram. And so And so here we go. So hopefully you guys can see the see what you're seeing on screen. It says Pauline Reilly Art and Design. And so here's a sneak peek at her beautiful new website, what it's going to sort of look like. I'm so excited about it. And then I want to scroll down a little bit so that we can look at your Frock Fridays. And then you can tell us a little.
Department.
There you go. So I love the Flamingo Flock Friday. That was fabulous. And then we can see you sort of playing. I love the fact that you're also playing with the website idea that, you know, with your Pauline Reilly Art, and then love art, enjoy the journey, which is your handle, right? That's your beautiful kind of tagline, which I love. And then here's another Flock Friday, which is wonderful. So tell us who, so is LFC the initials?
Liverpool Football Club.
Say again?
Liverpool Football Club.
Okay, so that is like your local team?
Yeah, it was, they won the cup. It's 30 years since they've won this cup. I think it's the League Cup. I should really know. Jed would go mad if I couldn't remember. But because they won it, I thought I should do something in his honour. So that the print that looks like a bird is a live bird. That's Liverpool. That's what.
Yes,
it's two kind of famous things. These two live birds that are mythical creatures, but sort of take care of the city. So that's what the LFC one is.
Got it. And then there's a beautiful pink one that has a huge explosion of gorgeous. It looks like dahlias, maybe.
Love that.
That's a gorgeous one too.
Yeah.
And then you did your whole like gorgeous series of letters with flowers inside them, right?
Yeah.
And there's just amazing frocks. But then let's stop here on your piece. So this is a great place where we can talk about your Skillshare class. Yeah. So one of the things, I'm going to come back on screen, so both you and I are back on screen. One of the things that I teach we talk about it in Doodles, and then of course we do a much, much deeper dive in the Academy program, is how important it is to make money in a variety of different ways. So that if one part of your business is not kind of firing on all cylinders, another part can be. And also so that you can grow your audience in multiple ways. Yeah. And so as one of my action takers, you also now have a Skillshare class. Tell us about your Skillshare class.
Well, my Skillshare class, and the idea for the class actually came from one of the Zoom, when we were doing Zoom weekly when we were in lockdown. Right. One of the things you had us do was to do a letter. I think you call it illustrating the letter, isn't it? Where you put flowers and things inside. And I thought, and I was one of the things I'd set myself. I thought, while we're on this lockdown, I want to get a Skillshare class up and running. So I took that idea, and that's what my first Skillshare class is. I designed 2 pens in Procreate. That was through Tila. She does different tutorials on that. So I created a brush that was my own that I could give away in the class, and a heart stamp brush that I could give away in the class, and I got it up and running. And it's one of the things, I've been far more organised when I do my next one. I thought I was organised, but it's that you'll know, and every time you do something you think, oh, I've not mentioned that, or I've not included that in the video, or and it was great. And I've got to say, Skillshare was so supportive, because one of the things I'd missed, I think it was just a little bit on the form I'd not filled in. So it's like, I can't think what the word is they use, but that my class 8 hadn't uploaded because this fault was there. But they were so supportive, coming back to me, telling me what I needed to do. So I feel as though they not only support the education as far as you teaching everybody, but they're educating the teachers. You know, I didn't know that I'd missed that sort of thing. So yeah, so it's great.
Right, and they didn't want your class to be out there but not published, and so they reached out to make sure that you could fix that tiny thing. But you know, one of the things that we'll talk even more about inside the Doodles class, and of course also in the Academy, is it's so important to just get the work out there, because you learn so much more by doing your first Skillshare class, because now you know all the things you want to do for your next one. But getting the first one out there and getting reactions from people, and also seeing what you like and what you don't like, and having the benefit of a little bit of time going by, and then I like to call it kind of zooming out and doing a little bit of a strategic assessment about, okay, what do I think was really great about it that I want to do in my next class? How would I want to change? All of that stuff, you're not going to get any of that beautiful knowledge if you don't actually get one up and running.
And that's one of the things you say, is it just, get it out there, get it started, and that's it. You can get fancy later, isn't it? That's the that's that phrase. Yeah.
That's an Annism. It's like, keep it simple. You can always get fancy later.
And that's why I did that with that website, because I thought if I don't do something, I'd have got to this point this year and I still wouldn't have had a website. So I just, kind of got on with it, and yes, it's not the most mind-blowing website, but I've had a lot of feedback and
plus now you are so much better prepared to ensure you're not going to waste your money on the company that you hire to do your next website, because you know so much more about what you want, what works, how you want to your brand to appear, and right. So it's just smart. Do one yourself. Learn the basics. Get it up and running, and then you're going to make a very wise investment, and your money will be both well spent, and you'll know how to direct those people.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So a couple more questions from people in the chat. So Tamara wants you to say, and so do I, more slowly, the name of the website company in California that you, because of course Tamara and I are both in California, that you used.
Okay, it's Autumn Lane.
Autumn Lane.
Papery.
Autumn Lane Papery.
So it's sort of spelt the way the French would. You would know that.
Paperie. I'll put it in the comments. But Autumn Lane Papery. Let me perfect. And you found them through the community, right? Because we were talking about like websites, or during the module about websites, we were all talking about it and sharing.
We've got an Instagram page, a Facebook page. I'm just going to put my light on. I've noticed it's really dark. We're not getting dark.
And then I'll go to Autumn Lane Papery for everybody, so they can see what it looks like. Because they also have they're also on. It says logo design and websites.
Yeah.
And they are on. They're also on Facebook and on Instagram. So I'll share my screen in just a second. So I am on. Squarespace. And one of the decisions that as creatives we need to make is how many different pieces of technology do we want to manage? And so in the beginning, you want to do as many things for free as you possibly can. And so so my first email service provider was MailChimp. Which is free. And now, are you still using that, Pauline?
Yes, that's who I've done now, MailChimp,
Yep, so that's a great place to start, because it's free until you have a couple thousand people on your email list, which is awesome. Then you want to get, there's a very inexpensive website hosting service here in the United States called Wix, W-I-X. That people that is easy to get up and running as well. Could be a nice alternative to Universe that you used in the UK. Then if you want to, a lot of designers use Squarespace, because Squarespace also has beautiful templates for people who have a lot of design work that they want to showcase. And Squarespace now has their own email service included, and so while you're going to pay more each month for it, you can do your website and your email combined, which obviously makes things a little bit simpler. But there are lots and lots of different ways to skin this cat. There are definitely lots of different ways to skin this cat, and so I just wanted to point that out to people. The most important thing is to take action and to do it now, and to get your work out there. You can always make it fancy later. So let me bring on Bernie's comment. So Bernie is also here. It's great to see you, Bernie. She said she taught live for the first time with no experience teaching at all. It was scary, but she had people ask how many years she was teaching. And she said it was her first, and they thought you were joking. Right? So just do it. So Bernie, thank you so much for sharing that, because I saw one of the previous comments that I think was from Vicky about the fact that teaching a course sounds really, really scary, and being so out there is really scary. And so first of all, congratulations, Pauline, for doing it. But one of the other things that you can comment on is, you know, a lot of times people think teaching has to be live like this, where your face is on the camera. But many people start teaching and they do it from slides, right? They just show step by step using slides, sharing your screen, so that you don't actually have to, it's more that your voice they're listening to. And that's a great way too, to get over that kind of fear of being on camera.
And I did that in my Skillshare, my first Skillshare class, because at the beginning I think do they call it talking head when you're talking to camera? So I did that live, although it took me about 14 times because I kept making a mistake, but that's so be it. So I did that live, and then I did another bit towards at the end. I did a live to camera, but the rest I sort of was working on my iPad, and I could either use QuickTime to, you know, it'll video your screen for you, or even in Procreate, it records what you, you know, what the drawing is that you've done. So I used some of that, and then I just did audio over each piece. And so learned heaps and heaps. I mean, I started, the thing that gave me the confidence to try that was your Skillshare class that's about making video.
Yes, awesome. How to make awesome videos in 3 easy steps.
So and the fact that when you talk about it, you can do it on your phone, you do it on your iPhone. So you can do it on your iPad and your laptop as well. But I just thought, well, if I'm doing it on a phone, that's what I did. So so you definitely can. It's just baby steps, isn't it?
Baby steps, totally baby steps. Plus, these machines, this is a computer. Right? Our smartphones are a computer, and they have amazing cameras in them, and all you need is like a little stand, and then, you have a little stand, and then you hit the record button, and you are good to go. It's amazing that how accessible this is.
So it's just taking you. I used to have a teacher who used to say you have to do things bit by bit. You know, you can't eat an elephant at one sitting. You know, you have to just take a little bit each time. So
exactly. All right, so let me look at my notes for a second. So we've shown everyone your website. Super excited about the new one that you're working on, so we'll all be watching out for when that comes out. You'll have to do some fun Instagram stories and posts so that we can do it. Pauline Reilly, artanddesign.com, and people can follow you on Instagram there already, which is great. And then tell us the name of your Skillshare class as well, so that we can send people there to learn how to do those beautiful.
My Skillshare class is illustrating a letter in Procreate.
Illustrating a letter in Procreate. Excellent. And they can also search for you. So they can also search for you on inside Skillshare.
I think there's a link as well in my Instagram. You know, if you go into, I've got Linktree, so you could the links in there as well.
Perfect. So then tell me what is next for you. So tell us just a little bit about how it's been with re-entry into the salon. How are you guys managing? And now you're, you know, obviously you're busier because you're back in the business to some degree. But what are some of your kind of big goals as we move forward in the year? And let me say again just how incredibly inspired I am by and motivated by how much action you've taken and how much progress you've made in such a short period of time. You're really making 2020 count, even with the craziness around us.
I'm just trying to. I keep saying to my clients, we've got to just keep on keeping on, and that's what I tried to do, sort of thing. I had plans before the lockdown, and then just thought, well, I've got this time, I must make the most of it. So business, I would say, is challenging in the salon. My takings are down 40% because people are still shielding. People aren't going on holiday or going to events as much, so they've not come back as much. However, my clients have been so supportive. You know, buying my mugs and my cushions, and during lockdown, I had some of my clients bought gift vouchers off me for themselves so that they could give me money at the time, which was just means so much, sort of thing. But I am aware that I might need to to keep doing this and developing. And I wanted to develop the art business anyway. I can't work alongside the lady that works with me. We've got to work separately because of the number of people. So it's just, but I'm not going to let it get me down. We've got to just keep going.
Yeah.
Long term, I would like to be able to sell some of my patterns to be licensed, which would be great. I've got a company. One of the ladies come to me that they make tissue boxes, where they make tissues, and they've asked me for some designs for their new tissue boxes. So they've got some of those at the moment. I'm waiting for them to come back to me and ask me what needs to be changed. So that'll be great because I can put something on there that I've actually had a patent license. So I feel like that next step will help me. The fact that I've got my website up and running before, but now I've maybe made it a little bit slicker, but only because now's the time, not because you have to any sooner. To develop it. And I do want to keep making. I've got an order for 4 more cushions that somebody's just ordered off me. So all of that is helping, and I think that gets me out there, so more people will see my patterns. So I'm loving it. So.
Yeah, and listen, you just have to keep moving forward, right? Step by step, right? Step by step.
And I've learned so much this last year from you. I mean, I was the techie person that people used to give me their phone to sort out, but nothing like this. I couldn't work Photoshop. I'd never even heard of Illustrator, and now and things like, have putting your prints onto Society 6 or onto Redbubble. That's all techie stuff, but it's clearly laid out for how to do it. And there's always somebody, particularly in your community, that helps you. Sometimes you get stuck, and it's maybe because you've tried to put the wrong size pattern on Society 6 and it won't accept it. So the help is always out there. So, but I've got something beside me, and this one, I think I might have already told you this, but I said I'm naming patterns, and this one is named after you because this is Anne's pod.
Oh!
Because I on my first Doodles to Dollars, this pattern.
Oh my goodness, that's fabulous.
And I look at it, I think it's just a little pod. But you see, it's like a seed. So from seeds, big things grow. So
from seeds, big things grow. Thank you. I love it. And we are a pod, right? We are a pod. We're all growing together. We all are going to make sure that I try to keep adding the water so that we can all absolutely flourish together. But
pulling each other up. I know when I started, obviously, besides yourself, other people that are already part of your community are sort of reaching down to pull you up. And now I love that. I feel like I'm one of those people that I can help and do that the same. And that's why the community works so much is, you're at the head of it there, and we're all trying to follow your good vibes.
Well, listen, it's an incredible community because people like you are in it, right? And so it's not all about me. It's about the amazing energy, the amazing positivity, the amazing, action that people within the community are taking to bring their designs to life and to put them out into the world and to embrace the concept of being an artist, and that can mean whatever you want that to mean inside your own head. But each and every one of you is talented and unique and has something amazing to offer to this world.
I've met so many lovely, lovely friends through, particularly through the time when we were in lockdown. Like Tamari and Jean and Patricia. I don't want to miss anyone. Maria. Everyone, Marianne, everyone has been so supportive. Fiona Watson, she helped me, and I was trying to get a logo going. As I say, quite often in the salon I'm talking, it's like, oh, my friend Maria that lives in Sweden, and now I always have a Z story for you, don't I? Instead of a Z, a Z. Well, I went to the opticians the other day, and they get you to read out the lines, and we got to the bottom, and I said, I don't know, like BQZ. And the man said to me, "You're watching too much American television." I said, "No, I've got too many American friends." I just did it without thinking because I love that. One of the things you say, Command Z, just undoes your last thing.
Right. Oh my God. I love the fact that you mentioned Command Z, because we all get very familiar with Command Z, which is to go back one step inside Illustrator. And so for those of you who haven't done it yet, you are in for a real treat. And many of you may prefer Command Z, but I say Command Z.
Yeah, me too now.
That is a brilliant story. Well, listen, I am going to let you go. You and I are going to stay connected after I finish the broadcast. But let me make sure that there aren't any questions from anyone. You are getting lots of thank you for coming. You're such an inspiration, Pauline. Love the idea of naming patterns after friends. That's a brilliant idea, because it can also help you remember what you called them, right? Yeah. And because sometimes it's hard to remember, like, what did I call that one? Yeah. And Wendy Duke says you can never have too many American friends. Definitely not. And then Dana says, where does Dana's comment go? So Dana said, thank you, Pauline. And Tracy says, great live. Vicky says, thank you, Pauline. So for all of you watching live, thank you so much for joining both of us. And if you're watching the replay, incredibly excited to have you here as well. So mark your calendar for Monday, because Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, I'll be live again in the group again. We're actually going to talk about preparing for doodles. We're going to do a little homework assignment prep, which is going to be super fun. And then also, of course, next Friday, we will also be live. And next Friday, our guest is going to be Cher Hudson. And I can't wait for all of you to have a chance to meet her. So thank you, Pauline. Janelle says, you are fabulous.
Oh, thank you. And a tough week in work, so it's lovely to have such positive vibes.
Well, the lighting right now and with you and your pattern is absolutely perfect. And so I am so grateful that you were able to join us. I know it's also later in the UK than it is where we are. So have a wonderful gin and tonic or whatever you're going to celebrate with now. Go give your puppy a wonderful hug, since she's been waiting patiently for you to finish. And you and I will talk again very soon.
Bye-bye, everyone. Take care.
Bye-bye, everyone.